Hi, current Teton Science School's grad students, alumni, and friends and family of the TSS community. My name is Amy Lorenz. I'm a alumni from 2012-13, and I'm currently a faculty at the Teacher Learning Center of TSS. Thanks so much for joining us in our first annual TSS grad program Bioblitz, which is happening from May 14th through 17th, 2020. This is first and foremost a celebration of all the hard work and learning that the 2019-20 class has put into this year. Is also a way to bring us together when we've been socially distant for quite some time now. So this gives us an opportunity to celebrate our local biodiversity, explore our local natural history, and then share that with each other. We're going to be using iNaturalist, which is a website and mobile app. It's a citizen and community science platform in which anyone can contribute to global biodiversity knowledge by sharing wildlife observations around your backyard, your neighborhood, local parks, and anywhere that you're visiting. So I'm just going to give you a quick intro to the website there, and then I'm going to show you how to make an observation. The first thing that you're going to want to do is go on a web browser to iNaturalist.org, and you can make an account. And once you have made your own account, you'll want to use the search bar to search for TSS BREE grad program Bioblitz, click about, and then when you get to the page, you'll see some info, a picture, and then it should say join project. Once you click join project, any observations that you make during that 4-day period will automatically be included in this project. So once you have joined the project, then you're ready to practice making your first observations. So I'm going to show you a couple examples and share a couple tips with you. Once I have the iNaturalist app open, I click observe to make my first observation. I can either take a picture right from here, or I can click on my photos. And I'm going to upload this photo of a really nice flower that I took earlier today. It's a flower that I just noticed a couple days ago in my yard, and it's a sure sign of spring. So I'll click next. And so the first tip that I have is only upload one species at a time, but you can put multiple pictures in. And if you want to do that, you just press the plus button and you can go back and either take a new picture or add another one from your photo library. So now that the photo is in there, I'll notice that it has the date, the time, and the location where I took the photo, and then I'm going to want to click on what did you see? iNaturalist has automated deep learning in which it learns from any observations that come in, it learns from the shapes, the colors, the locations, and over time it becomes stronger at helping to suggest identifications for the observations that we put in. So iNaturalist will make some suggestions. And so I see it's suggesting that it's in the genus Fritillaries, and here are the top 10 suggestions. I recognize this one. iNaturalist also suggests that it's been seen nearby, this top one, the yellow fritillary. Now, it's not always the case that it's the top suggestion, but I will choose that one, and then I'll click save, and then it will be ready to upload. And I can just click the upload button. So another tip, when you're making observations, it's important to choose the best photos that you have available. iNaturalist has a ton of blurry pictures of ants in there. And if you have the time and you can take the time to really focus on an organism, you can often get a nicer picture and enter that. So I do have an ant here. So I have this ant in a petri dish, and it's staying still so I can get a picture of it. Next, I'm also going to add, I can do a little bit better than that. I actually have a little macro lens, and this clips right onto my phone. So I'm going to press add, and then I'm actually going to see if I can get a clearer picture using my macro lens. So I'll save it. I'll choose what did you see? Here's where tip 3 comes in. iNaturalist will give lots of suggestions. However, they're not always going to give you the right species or give you species that are in your area. So in this case, I really don't know what kind of ant this is. iNaturalist is suggesting it's in the family Vespidae, and that it could be a bald-faced hornet, a yellow jacket, one of many things. Sometimes if you change the picture, it will have a better, easier time identifying it. So let's see. So iNaturalist thinks this is some kind of formicine ant. I really don't know enough about ants to know that, but I do know it's an ant. So if you don't agree with the list of ants that come up, all you need to do is choose look up a species by name, and I'm just going to type in ant. I will get a list of pictures that pops up underneath it, and then I can scroll down until I see what I want to choose. It's really important that you choose one of the groups that's listed here with a picture that tags your observation to a taxon group, we call it, and then others in the iNaturalist community can help narrow down your observation. So I'll choose save and upload. So we've gotten through 3 of our tips. Tip number 1, one species at a time per observation. You can add multiple pictures. Number 2, choose good photos, and when in doubt, leave it out. Tip number 3, make sure that you tag your observation to a taxon group like ants or plants. And when in doubt of the identification, go up the taxonomic tree until you get to a plant or an animal. You can be as broad as you want. Other people in the community can help you narrow that down.
And our last tip, while iNaturalist does allow us to include domestic animals like dogs and cats and houseplants, our project is only going to be collecting wild animals and plants.
You don't need to go far to observe biodiversity. You can simply open up your back door. Here are some ideas for observing in your neighborhood, your backyard, or even out your window. You can check for birds on your bird feeders. Invertebrates like pollinators will be in flower pots in your gardens. You could lift up logs, rocks, and of course plants. Super accessible. Go outside and look for some spring blooms. Thanks so much for joining us to learn about the grad program Bioblitz happening May 14th through 17th. Thursday, May 14th is going to be our competition day. We will be recording the most species, the most taxonomic diversity. So you might get 30 kinds of birds, but can you get 30 different species across birds, fungi, animals, and also fan favorites? So we'll be looking for some creative observations that are out there. Enter your observations during that 4-day period. Make sure that you check into our project often to see what other folks are seeing around the country. Thanks so much for helping us celebrate our grads and also for helping us all come together as a TSS community in these distant times.